Hello, everyone. Well, a little bit different than what I was talking. A little bit of different format than I was talking about earlier, huh? Well, there's a couple reasons for this. I wanted to address. Firstly, we had some issues with the platform we were using to try to put together this course, which sucks, but we adapt, as we always do. And because we've adapted, we have a brand new project coming from Bald and Bonkers very soon. Bald and Bonkers TV Plus, or simply just Bonkers TV Plus. It's going to be a brand new streaming service from our company. You'll get to see exclusive shows that you don't see anywhere else on our platform. You'll be able to see different shows we managed to license. We already have a partner potentially secured to help assist with that. That will be very helpful. And it will be something that we will invite other creators on so they can have their own platform. Yeah. If you've been following the exploits of the company, you've probably heard that by 2024 we're going to be expanding to Roku. The streaming service is now part of that plan. It may take a little bit longer than anticipated, but we're going to make it happen. Oh, and with this streaming service, you're going to see courses like this. So, unfortunately, we had to readdress some things, and because there was already a lot of really good information that I put together for this class, I didn't want it to go to waste, so we just kind of transferred everything over. So, that's why this all looks different. It's about adapting, overcoming obstacles, because when you get on this journey, you're going to be running into a lot of obstacles. That's why we also have the Maximize Your Podcast for Low Cost book that is available in stores now. I can say that because if you are able to see this podcast, see this video playlist, it means that you have read through the entirety of the book. You use the link and use the top secret password, which means you've done your homework, which means you're already 1,000 steps ahead than everybody else who wants instant gratification. So, kudos to you. You just show that you're willing to put in the work. Keep that strength up, okay? Because when you get onto this type of journey and you start gaining traction, you're gonna start running into some issues, which is actually what I wanted to talk about for this course, because as a matter of fact, I just had a recent incident within the last couple weeks that I had to address, all because of a stupid fucking Ouija board. So, for those of you who don't know the situation, my co-host Chris and I, we were invited on for an interview with a guest we had on the show, Danny Henderson. As kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of gag, I brought out an old Ouija board that I just had lying around. Naturally, people flipped out. It seemed it also gotten to the point where someone reached out to a dear friend of mine and tried to cause a bit of a stir. Tried to paint me that I was trying to, do something nasty. I'll admit, I did kind of let my emotions get the better of me on this. Because a few days prior was the funeral of a dear friend of mine who lost her battle with some health complications she's been facing for quite some time. And she leaves behind a husband who is questioning whether or not he could have done more to help save her, and a 2-year-old boy. So, tug on the heartstrings a little bit. Now, I addressed my concerns, showing that I am not apologetic about that Ouija board. I gave my stance. I also address the fact that I may have accidentally misconstrued some information in regards to the ET efforts we follow. Because naturally, the second somebody goes to find out that I have connections with Hollywood, they want to try to paint me as one of the grand elites. Like, I fucking wish. If I was one of the elites, I wouldn't be driving around a 95 Cadillac that has some sort of fluid leak, possibly washer, so I'm not too concerned about it. But yeah, I at least get the leak thing fucking fixed. And that lifestyle isn't as glamorous as people think. It's not as profitable as people believe, unless you are high up on the food chain. But that's another discussion. I wanted to just bring this up just to kind of address the issues that every content creator, podcaster, web show host, even major actors deal with. And that is haters. The thing that honestly pissed me off about this whole Ouija board ordeal is that the people were more concerned about a fucking board than the other incidents I was talking about, which involved child molestation, abuse, drug use. No, they didn't want to say anything about that. They didn't want to try to confront the individual who tried justifying being a pedophile. And if you're offended by my use of that term, no refunds. Sorry. No refunds. I will level with on one aspect. Just hear me out. Getting kind of sick and fucking tired of people trying to crucify me and not listening. So again, kudos to those of you who actually paid attention to the book and put in the password to see this. There are people who enact in those types of actions who were victims at one point themselves. And anyone who has those urges should seek help before they do something stupid. However, these are grown-ass adults looking for excuses to harm children. Ain't it funny how all these movements for like toxic masculinity, gun control, all these pushes for all that is allowing people who want to hurt kids to prosper? I bring this up because this is my honest stance on these matters. A Ouija board, it's not reliable for any paranormal based thing. And just like a spirit box, an EMF, a ghost box, a digital voice recorder, or simply just wanting to talk to a deceased loved one when you're in kind of a depressive mood, opens the doorway for communication. Because you're actually trying to talk to somebody. The method is reliable because it's not hard for subconsciously for you to move the little planchette and spell something out. And there's also a number of idiots who want to quickly assume that any little motion going on is paranormal. Look at my co-host Chris, who assumed that some audio issues that I have with this mic for some reason were instantly spiritual in nature. I know I'm kind of firing off, and it's probably putting off some people, and I do apologize for that. But it does involve something that really needs to be talked about, and it is learning to build a little bit of a thicker skin, because you're going to have people try to target you, especially if you start gaining traction. You're going to have people come for you, and they're going to try to make you go against your core values, your beliefs. Only one person in that ordeal with the Ouija board directly reached out to me. to address their concerns. Only one. Out of the 3,000 views that interview got last time I looked, only one person reached out. That is someone I consider a friend. That is someone who wanted to make sure that I was staying on the right course and not falling into certain traps, not trying to feed myself any ego. And in the event the individual who tried to cause a divide sees this, I genuinely want to thank you, because your actions actually helped a very productive conversation to take place, and two friends have a little bit more respect and admiration for one another. So, thank you. You actually achieved something good. See what I just did there? There's one of two ways that statement alone will affect the individual. And it's something I want to impart on those of you who've followed the course this far. Because sometimes the haters, they'll actually bring up some very valid points. They may not intentionally try to come off as rude or condescending in any way, but in the same light, in the event they are, look at how I just addressed it. Now this is something to take into consideration case by case, but in the event you actually have haters that end up doing more good than harm unintentionally, publicly thank them. It's going to go one of two ways. If they didn't intentionally mean to cause an issue, to try to be a troll or anything like that, conversations said and done, and you can still maintain your friendship, if that's the case. Someone who intended to do harm, they're going to be rattled. They're going to know you're closing in on them, and they'll probably try to block you on social media. And if you ever go to meet in person, they'll probably try to falsify claims to stir up mob mentality to make you into the bad guy further down. But nevertheless, they're only going to out themselves. And it's going to get under their skin that they did not achieve their goal of causing you harm, of tearing you down. I just saw a little thing from Dave Chappelle. He's a comedian. He said, when a hero falls, cowards rejoice. A bunch of cowards thought I fell. Nah. I may have tripped on myself. I'm kind of clumsy like that. I'll admit. My shoe size is US size 16 through 20, depending on the make of the shoe. Just as a little example, let's see. Show you I'm not joking. These are just my sandals I usually just wear for around the house. And here's a candle. Yeah. Guess what? Your teacher's Bigfoot. But nevertheless, I wanted to address this because it's the most recent example I can give that I hope can try to help some of you. Because the remarks that come forward, they're going to mentally drain you. And you might even get some people, I don't understand the logic behind this, but you might even get some people who try to skim through your videos, look for one that didn't exactly look like it had a lot of views, then post hateful messages there. Not reach you email, not reach out you on social media, post it on a low performing video. It may not even be a video that's related to the issue that they have. Just a completely random one. Honestly, that's something I don't get. There's an aspect of it to where you have to develop a mental fortitude. But I'm also going to say, don't sit there and take abuse. Call them out. Because anybody who goes to stir up trouble on social media is a coward in their own right. And the last thing they want is for them to be publicly called out and isolated, just like they tried to do to you. You don't have to make a full spiel about it. You don't show any. Try not to show too much emotion. Show that you're not going to go down without a fight. It's going to be rough. It's going to mentally drain, and you're going to have some people that are going to try to paint you into even more of a villain. Well, guess what? Heroes, villains, good, evil, bad guys, good guys, all that. Those are just labels. They don't actually exist. It's just conflicting agendas. You could be the most welcoming, heart-loving, kind person on the face of the earth, and you're going to have people that are going to try to take you down. I've had people try to use the fact that I'm a man. That's it. They were so desperate to cause hate, to cause drama, but couldn't find anything. They were so desperate to stir up that trouble that they picked on something that I don't have any control over. The fact that I was a man. And inevitably they proved something about themselves. That they are hateful, condescending, losers. You can be as much love and light as you want, but let's face it. Conflict breeds evolution. Conflict breeds change. You're going to face obstacles. You're going to face hateful comments, and some of the worst ones are going to come from your friends and family. The very people you expect to support you may be the worst ones to go after you. They're going to be the ones that hurt worse. I've had family members completely ban me from their lives, try to isolate me, because I got them in trouble. And it was a situation severe enough that law enforcement had to be involved. And I continually out them and will continue to out them. Because that was the only way to actually get them to think of and realize how much of a pathetic human being they were becoming. Harsh remarks? Yes. But the only way to actually get change done was to out them on a public platform. Because again, haters, abusers, trolls, they're cowards. They think they want the attention, but the second they don't get the attention they think they're gonna get, that destroys them even more. And as much as you may want to be open and welcoming, some people are not going to give you a choice. It's going to, regardless of what happens in the future, conflict will always find its way. And it's not that you face these conflicts that defines you. It's how you overcome them. And there are people out there who are going to be willing to help you every step of the way. And there are going to be people out there who may even go the extra mile and point you in the right direction if they don't feel that they have the right tools to assist you. Good people are out there. And you're going to find individuals who are going to support you in every step of the way. Do their best to understand who you are and what it is you're trying to do. And you may never meet in person. Don't you think it's a little ironic that the people with this UFO disclosure taking place, this video is being recorded on August 13th, 2023. These people who are talking about ascending to higher densities, dimensions, seeing the world as it is. Isn't it funny how they want to talk about doing this and how life would be great when they can't even be bothered to understand what's on the other end of a two-dimensional surface? An infinite number of two-dimensional surfaces build up a three-dimensional world. They can't even be bothered to understand fully what's being shown on a two-dimensional projection. So it's not on you if you gain haters. In a way it is, but that's because you're actually trying to do something in the world. Do not let them tear you down. And if it gets down to it, I want you to reach out to me. Find me through social media, my public pages, please. There's a number of people that try to add me privately, and I'm just like, who the hell are you? Feel free to reach out to me. Through the Bonkers email, through my social media, whatever. Please feel free to reach out and tell me what's going on. And I'll be more than happy to arrange for you a platform to tell your story. I'll do my due diligence to go into the background to make sure that you haven't legitimately done something wrong. But if you need help standing your ground, call me. We'll make it happen. Let's see. I know I promised something in the last video what I was going to show you. How about this? In the next video, I'm going to show you ways you can start to monetize your show right from the get-go. Try to build up a little bit better content. Because let's face it, inflation going on right now, we all could use a little extra, like a few extra bucks here and there to help us get by. Much love, stay safe, and remember my offer, ladies and gentlemen.